Stop taking things personally. Art is subjective. If it doesn't serve you, if it's not making you better, if it's not helping you, if it isn't inspiring you to be the creator that you want to be, let it go. Welcome to the Chasing Genius podcast. My name is Crystal, and I am your host for the #1 show for creatives in pursuit of their own creative geniuses. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about taking things personally. It is something that affects a lot of artists, including myself, is that we take things too personally. Taking things personally can hinder us from reaching our full creative potential, because now we're taking that constructive criticism. It's affecting our confidence. It's affecting the type of work we want to make. It's just affecting how we see the world, because now we feel like, oh, people hate my work. And when I was thinking about this whole stop taking things personally, I feel like it's almost like a double-edged sword. The other end, when you take things personally, it could be an external motivator. I know there are people who are like, yeah, doubt me because I'm about to prove you wrong, or like, I'm going to do what people don't expect me to do because they've put me in a box, or they've labeled me as this, or they labeled me as that. And I remember watching The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary, and I feel like in every interview snippet, he was like, oh yeah, I took that personally. And he just took what people said about him negatively, or just him wanting to prove, news correspondence, or just prove people wrong. He would just take it personally, and then that was his external motivator to play the game better, to perfect his craft, to do things that no other NBA player was doing. But I think that's an athlete, when it comes to sports, there's really a winner and a loser, right? It's based on a point system. Whoever has the most points is the winner. Whoever plays the game better, whoever wants it more, you could just tell through their drive, through their talent. And yes, there are athletes who are just naturally gifted, who the game comes to them easy, the athleticism comes to them easy. You can experience that as artists as well. But when it comes to art is so subjective that it's almost like we can't really compete at the same level, it feels like, as athletes, right? I think in certain ways there are certain things we can take from athletes, like just perfecting your craft, being willing to, put yourself out there, edit, whatever your craft is, do it every day so that you can get better, and you know the skills that cater to your specific field of art. Like if you're a designer, you would try to design as many designs as possible to perfect the use of Photoshop and Illustrator, shapes, typography, etc. Whereas what you actually create, the output, is still subjective, right? That artwork might resonate with a group of people, and then it won't resonate with another group of people. It doesn't mean that the art has failed. It just means that the art only resonates with certain people. And you can't take that personally, because who your audience is different from the next person's audience. I think the mistake we make as creatives and just as individuals is we try to have a mass appeal. We want to make everybody happy. We want everybody to like us. We want everybody to support us, and that is impossible. There are 8 billion people in the world. 8 billion people in the world. They're not all gonna like you. Number one, they're not even gonna know who you are. Let's just keep it a stack 100. I don't even know if there's a YouTuber that has 1 billion subscribers. They have millions, there are some, and some of them just be having 5, 6, 7, max 10 million. But I don't even know if there's a YouTuber that has 10 million subscribers. Maybe there is, but you see how small those numbers are compared to the 8 billion people that are in the world. And yet, even with just having 5 million, even having 100,000, or even having 50,000 or 10,000 or 2,000 or less than 1,000, right? Because I have less than 1,000 subscribers. Those are the people that resonate with my work. And I think it's important to know that your responsibility as an artist is not to have mass appeal. You're not going to make everybody happy. You're not going to make the work that everyone is going to like. Your responsibility as an artist is to make work that you resonate with, that tells the story that you want to tell. You, out of everyone, are your number one audience. If you make something that you like, that's all that matters, because I like it, right? It doesn't mean that there isn't room to grow. It doesn't mean that you can't take feedback or criticism from people, but you also got to take that criticism and feedback with a grain of salt. Because as a photographer, in my case, right? If I want to get feedback on my work, I will go to another photographer. I'm not going to go to somebody that's never picked up a camera before, because their advice is null and void. You don't understand the conditions. You don't understand camera talk. You don't understand the lengths at which I've gone. And even at taking that photographer's advice, I still have to take what applies to me and the vision that I tell, because a lot of photographers are different. Some photographers are a lot more abstract, and some are literally I want this image to be perfect, to look exactly like this moment. And there are other photographers who will change the background and edit things in Photoshop and add colors and remix this entire image that it doesn't even look like you took it on a camera. It looks like a piece of literal fine art, abstract, right? So I think as artists, art is still subjective, and the number one audience you should focus on pleasing is yourself. Do you like this piece of work? Does it resonate with you? Did you achieve the goals that you wanted to achieve with making that? And even if only 5 people like it, even if no one likes it, all that matters is that you like it. And I think that's also important to stress, because in our current time of content creating, there's a lot of sameness, right? There's a lot of people just trying to be like other people. And I think that's okay when you're starting out, because we all steal, like Austin Kleon said, steal like an artist. All great artists steal. There really is no original idea, but you could tell when someone's whole blueprint is just copy paste of someone else's style, of just doing this because it worked for that person. And I think it's still our responsibility to find that originality in ourselves, to find that thing that makes us unique. And that's our role, especially as artists, is to find that thing that makes us unique, to find that thing that makes us different from other people. There are 1,000 photographers in the world. There are probably 1,000 painters. There's 1,000 musicians, producers, artists, stylists. But what makes each person different is how they approach the medium. What is your approach? How are you developing your skill? How are you developing your crafts? How are you pushing your work? How are you pulling from your own experiences? Because we all have different experiences. No two people, I've said it before, have the same exact experiences, and those things affect how we create and how we view our work. And I think the most important thing with not taking things personally is to develop that bulletproof confidence. People think you're born with confidence. No, confidence is a skill that you could develop, and it really starts with not being insecure about yourself. It's a lot easier said than done. Confidence really stems from you being proud of who you are. Being proud of the person that you are becoming, right? And I don't think there is a easy way of doing that. I think it really does come from you being gentle with yourself and learning who you are as an individual, and making sure that you are doing things in accordance to your energy and your energy output. Everyone's taste is subjective, and I think as artists, taking things personally can be counterintuitive. It doesn't serve us. And I'm all about, if it doesn't serve you, if it's not making you better, if it's not helping you, if it isn't inspiring you to be the creative that you want to be, let it go. You know what I mean? If it we don't have to keep the things that hold us back. We don't have to hold the opinions of others close to our chest. Art is subjective, and it's not our responsibility to try to get everyone to like our work, to love our work. It's our responsibility to make the work that we resonate with, that resonates with our spirit, that resonates with our heart, that resonates with our end vision, right? You know, like even for business people, not everybody likes Apple, not everybody likes Tesla, not everybody likes Microsoft, not everybody likes Google. It doesn't stop these people from making products and from putting stuff out there, because they still gonna have people who like their stuff, who think their things, their products, their items, the things and the way they carry themselves as a business, it resonates with them. Focus on yourself. Focus on your work. Focus on getting better at your craft. Focus on refining your vision, because it's your responsibility to embrace who you are as a person. And then people will find you when the time is right, when the time is meant for you, you know. And it can hurt in the beginning when you're, you know, still building, you know. Like, I could speak for myself, like seeing some videos do well on my channel and then not seeing some videos do as well. It's like, I could take that personally, you know, like, dang, people aren't resonating with this, or they think it sucks and like it's not good. But I can only control my input, which is sitting down and making these videos. The most important thing that we can do as creatives is to continue to create work that resonates with us, and the people that it's meant for will find us when the time is right. We don't have to have mass appeal. We only need to find our, whatever they say, 1,000 true fans. And I hope that as you are on your journey as a creative, you continue to find time and make time for yourself and do the things that resonate with you, that feed your spirit, that call to you, that interest you. Follow your curiosity. You know, being an artist, being a creative, our responsibility isn't to put ourselves in a box, right? And to package it real nice and neat and like, this is who I am as an artist. Our responsibility, what makes us different from the corporate world, from the business world, from the health world, is that we can be creative. We're meant to see the world differently and show a new way, a new perspective, a new way of thinking, a new mode of seeing the world, a new mode of experiencing life. That is our responsibility as artists. As long as you're making work that feeds your spirit, that inspires you, that motivates you, that allows you to grow as an individual, that's all that matters as artists. And I hope that you continue to find the light in your own work and to learn to validate yourself and to not take those haters or those comments of criticism personally, because you don't have to. Stop taking things personally. Art is subjective. So thank y'all so much for listening, for watching, for tapping in. If you enjoyed this episode, please, please, please leave a like, a comment, a subscription. I also wanted to share that I have these episodes as an audio only on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Check it out, tap in, leave a rating, leave a review. Support my small growing channel. I love each and every one of you. And remember that the genius in me sees a genius in you. And I'm always, always rooting for you. Peace. This is how I feel.